I said, girl, why you keep calling? I said, girl, why you keep calling? Yeah. She said, I need a new whip. Yeah, cause I know that you're still ballin'. She just wanna go back to the future, so I brought that girl a DeLorean. 21 minutes until I gotta go, so I told that girl I'm gonna slaughter it.
You're watching Crank It Up Rap. Go ahead, tell the police they can't unrape you.
Welcome to Crank It Up Rap. I'm your host, Andrew, and in this video, I'm going to do my top 11 songs from Travis Scott's Utopia. If you've been living under a rock for this past week, then you may have missed that Utopia is like the biggest album out right now. I think it's supposed to sell like 400,000 units in its first week. It's going to go top Billboard. It's Travis Scott's follow-up to Astroworld, which came out back actually on the day of recording this, August 3rd. It came out 5 years ago to this day. And, you know, I talked about this in a video. I think it was my favorite rap albums on this channel, where I said Astroworld was like a modern classic, which, I mean, it definitely is popular in that way. But I've already, I've played Utopia front to back probably like 30 times already, and it's only been out for about 6 days and 23 hours. Soon it will be the full week of it. And it's probably going to be my favorite album of the year. Travis Scott's my favorite artist or favorite rapper at the moment. And I decided to, instead of doing a full album discussion, I'd rather just say my top 11 songs. Disclaimer, I do not think there is a single bad song on the album, which is why I didn't want to do a worst to best ranking. Which is what I considered, but there's no worst. Even K-pop, which a lot of people hated. I like that song. Honorable mention before going in is the track God's Country. It might just be about the fact that Kanye's verse was taken off, but the song really upsets me because like the beat's really cool and Travis is really cool, but every time I hear the song, I'm like, why isn't Kanye on it? Why isn't the GOAT on it? It's very frustrating. Why is this song like 2 minutes? That might not even be right. I don't know. It feels like it's 2 minutes. I don't know. Let's just get to the list. So that's the 12th, if this was a top 12. Number 11. Oh, and I'm going to spoil the features on it. I feel like, you know, we're all adults here. If you wanted to listen to the album, you would have already done it. For those who don't know, Travis's last 2 albums, at least, have had hidden features on them. So it makes the first listens cool. All right. Number 11. I got Love featuring Kid Cudi. Oh my. Now, first listens are so cool with albums like this because you know it's going to be, you're like, who's going to be on it? Who's going to be on it? And there's a lot of people that I'll talk about later in the list that I assumed were going to be features, but I didn't even consider Kid Cudi, which is weird. But I was listening to this song. It's really robotic, very energetic song. I really love the flow that he does on the chorus. And then Kid Cudi starts, and I don't like Kid Cudi. I'm one of the people that on Twitter, I call him Mid Cudi. Okay, I'm part of that group. I don't like him. I think he's a grouchy old man. I really dislike Kid Cudi. But oh my, I was so hyped. I was sitting in my chair when this came on. I had my earbuds in, playing at max volume, and then Kid Cudi starts rapping, and I'm like, what? What? Yeah, the song would have been higher, actually, if it didn't feature Kid Cudi. You know, any other rapper doing this exact same verse probably would have been the best song on the album. But, you know, what can you do when it's Kid Cudi? You know, once a hater, always a hater, right? No, that's just a joke. But seriously, it is a great song. And it being 11th, I might end up repeating myself throughout this video, but all 11 of these songs could be ranked in any order, and I'd still agree with it and even the songs that I won't mention, they're all great. Like, there's no worst. And I don't know if there's a best, but this is just my list, right? At 10, I got the closing track, Till Further Notice, produced by Metro Boomin, with a feature from James frickin' Blake and 21 Savage. Okay, again, I'm listening to the album, final song. I'm like, okay, cool. I hear the Metro. I'm like, oh my God, Metro Boomin. And I hear James Blake's voice. I'm like, what? Another James Blake feature? And then, you guys might not know this about me, but I think everything 21 Savage does is amazing. So 21's verse comes on, and I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. I stood up. I walked around. Yeah, I just like popped back up. I'm sorry that my camera makes me look like I'm going in and out. But I stood up. I walked around the room like 221 Savage features, and this one was better than the last one. But really cool song, really eerie song with James Blake's parts. I do think it goes a little too long, but I do get that it is the final song. You got to give a lasting impression, got to give a hint towards, okay, well, we're done with Utopia, so what have we got next? Till further notice. That's the answer to it. Really cool song. After that, number 9, got the other track featuring 21 Savage, Topia Twins, which also has Rob 49, who's doing his best Young Boy impression. I don't know if Rob 49 came before Young Boy, but you cannot tell me that when you hear this verse, and if you know Young Boy, you thought it was him. Everyone on Twitter thought it was him. Every YouTuber reacting thought it was him. Same exact like accent, that might not be the right word for it. It sounds exactly like him. 21 Savage comes on, I almost cried. This 21 Savage stuff means something to me. And people were making fun of like the intro I saw of the whole jet ski intro. It is goofy. And this is, maybe besides K-pop, this is like the most mainstream sounding song on it, but who cares? Catchy hook. And Travis Scott has never been a hook heavy artist, especially on this album. So cool hook, cool Young Boy clone, cool 21 Savage, and then another Travis Scott verse. Hype. So yeah, probably most crowd pleasing song on the album, but it's fire. At 8, we got a song that is currently competing to be number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, Meltdown, featuring Drake. It was kind of spoiled because I think Drake had a concert the night before Utopia released where he had the Utopia briefcase with him that all like the rumored features were carrying. You knew he was going to be on it. Sicko Mode's like the biggest song of Travis's career, and that was on the last album. But good Lord, Drake on here doing the whisper flow. Drake, the type of guy to do a whisper flow. Like, I can't believe it. Like, and he does not listen. I do not take Drake seriously when he does his whole trying to sound tough, but it doesn't matter because it sounds cool. Travis comes in, there's like that weird like burner thing that happens before like all the beat switches, or not beat switches, but like transitions, and Travis kills it. Again, another track that I think goes maybe a bit too long. That's just because as much as I like Travis, I don't know if he does a great job at, really changing things up on songs. Like, and I'll get to that with another song on here, but I do think some of these tracks overstay their welcome, and Travis just kind of does more of the same, which I know that's really negative of me to say on like a praise video, but I'm just saying. But great track, very hype, and I really hope this does get to number 1. At 7, I got the intro track, Hyena. It's really weird because if you know Travis, he's not known to be a great rapper. He has a great atmosphere. He has cool robotic vocals. He has cool producers. Astroworld was kind of made off of the features. But to have your first like real big moment of the last 5 years start with a song of you straight up rapping throughout the whole thing, that's crazy. The little sample at the beginning and the little part at the end really makes it feel like it's part of an album and not just a single. But yeah, Travis just kills it. It's really nice and refreshing just to hear him rap instead of doing his melodies and stuff. At 6, I got Schizo, which features Young Thug. Well, that's how you get me to like a song. Free Jeffrey, all that. And it's nice, after the whole Business is Business album that Young Thug dropped from prison and like a month back, maybe by now, I was kind of underwhelmed by it. I was not underwhelmed by this feature. So, I'm listening to it. Travis starts off cool, right? Beats cool. Kind of reminds me of Back That Ass Up by Juvenile. That might actually be the sample. Now, I'm going to look it up while I'm saying the rest of this. But Young Thug's part is killer, if not kind of pitched weird. Like, I think his vocals could have been turned up. It's really weird. It's kind of like, if you've ever seen the movie Jumanji, whenever the people talk, it's really quiet. but then every time something escalates, it gets really loud, like there's an orchestra playing in your room. That's how I kind of felt this was. The beat and Travis are loud, and then Young Thug comes on. And instead of going like this, it's kind of going like this. Notice how you probably had to turn your volume up to hear me? And then I come back on and I'm yelling at you again? Yeah, something like that. But a cool part about the arrangement of this song is it's in 3 parts. Travis raps over 3 different beats, and kind of like what I said on Meltdown, I think it again overstays its welcome, but in a weird way. It's not a bad song. The closing verse over the 3rd beat is maybe the best verse on the whole album, but it feels like a different song. By that point, I'm just like, why isn't this beat and this focused lyricism on a completely different track? I shouldn't have to listen to 2 different beats to get here. I don't know. Still, one of the best songs. My favorite to play in the car so far. So there is something to that. And while looking it up, I do not see anything saying that it has that sample. So I guess I was wrong. All right, next at 5, creeping into the top 5, I got My Eyes. This seems to be the favorite. I know the first part of this song is really slow. You don't really hear Travis ever go into this lane where it's very, again, just slow. It's very peaceful. Travis is kind of trying to sing, and he's not very good at it. Depending on how peaceful it sounds, it really just sounds kind of goofy. But then after some Sampha uncredited vocals, which is nice, hopefully he drops an album soon, you suddenly get this beat switch, and Travis spends like 2 minutes, it feels like 2 minutes straight of just rapping really fast. It's kind of like that verse in No Bystanders off of Astroworld, but for like multiple minutes. Again, it feels like, I don't know the exact time, but it's crazy. It's one of the coolest moments on the whole album for sure. At 4, you get Lost Forever. This, I don't listen to leaked songs, but I am aware that this is one of the bigger, or this was, I should say, one of the bigger unreleased and hype tracks going into it, the album release, featuring that Have You Ever Been Lost intro, which sounds great. Travis's rapping verse is great. The beat switch to get into West Side Gun is great. West Side, I've seen a lot of people say he ruins the song, and I get it. If you've never heard West Side Gun, turn on the song when you're done watching this video, because Travis sounds like Travis, and you got West Side Gun's vocals, which are always really nasally, and they're really annoying and high pitched, and I like them, but if you don't like him, I completely get it. But this track is awesome. It completely lived up to the hype for me. Just a nice, normal song, which on an album full of non-normal songs, it's pretty nice. At 3, this one, I've talked about the reactions I've had to hearing the hidden features. This one made me, I was sitting back. This one made me sit up. This one made me go like that DJ Academics meme when he first heard Drake on Sicko Mode. This one made me message people, made me go straight to Twitter. I had a big goofy smile on my face, and that is my 3rd favorite song, Fiend, featuring Playboy Carti. I didn't know Playboy Carti was going to be on Utopia. Did anyone know? I didn't. I was so hyped because I'm like, yo, this kind of sounds like a beat an Opium member would be on. And then Fiend. I'm like, oh my god, it's Jordan Carter. And then he does the verse, and Travis is great on it too, by the way. And then he does his verse, and instead of the baby voice Cardi, he brings this new voice where she's kind of talking like this the whole time, and it's super goofy, but it's really cool. Like deep voice Cardi, if he drops an album soon, I will take 30 straight tracks of him doing that weird voice he was doing. Yeah, I was hyped. And I know that there's like tonight, like at the time recording this, August 3rd, I think they just released a new version on the physical versions only of the album with a Sheck West feature on it. I haven't heard it, but I bet that was hype. This is the kind of song that needed a Sheck West verse, honestly. Or I mean, at least we got the ad libs on this one. At 2, this was one of my least favorites on first listen, and then the more I've heard it, it might just be It might be the most beautiful song Travis ever made, but maybe not. And that's Telekinesis, formerly known as Future Sounds. You know, another song Kanye got taken off of. You know, Travis, what are you doing? But we get Future, we get a great Travis hook, an amazing Travis hook, and then SZA. SZA, I thought SZA was going to be on the album, but she saves the whole song. I mean, again, Travis is great, great chorus. Future is a great opening verse, and he does the intro. Awesome, I love Future. But SZA, I was like, whoa, I ascended. You know, Astro Thunder or Skeletons or Stop Trying to Be God off Astro World were my ascension tracks. When SZA starts on this one and starts reaching the higher registers, I ascend to Nirvana. I become Nirvana. I literally became Kurt Cobain for a bit. It was crazy. You guys should have been there. All right. My number one song. I know. That is the best song on it. Weirdly, is the only song. Okay, that was a lie. I was going to say it was the only song on this list that does not have a feature on it, which isn't right because Hyena doesn't have a feature verse. But still, what a fantastic track with the keys on it. Kind of reminds me of Mafia, you know, what should have been on the album. If Mafia replaced, okay, I'm not going to hate, but if Mafia replaced one of the lesser tracks on the album, we're talking about an 11 out of 10 rating for it. But anyways, I Know is great. The chorus is awesome. The different flow switches. Pretty much everything that worked for the other songs works here. Low key, Travis is the best. He's not trying to get too hype. He's not singing too much. He's just keeping it low key. And that's what he's best at. I was watching a review of this album by the YouTuber Sean C., who's one of my favorite YouTubers out there. And he said that Astroworld was an album that was made by the features, which is 100% true. And that Utopia isn't, and that Travis carries the weight completely fine by himself. I'm paraphrasing. He did not say that word for word. That's what I took from it. And I Know is perfect because no features on it, just Travis and the production. And it's the best song on the album. And it might just be the best song that Travis has made ever. Oh, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that, but it might be the best song Travis ever made. Okay, I'll stop. But anyways, that is just my ranking. Obviously, with the fact that this is a top 11 list, that means that songs had to be left out. 8 songs to be exact were left out because, again, I don't have a least favorite. I'm just going to say right now, if I actually said a whole top, ranking all 19 tracks, I'd probably put Parasail on the bottom. But then the Parasail fans would come at me. I like Parasail. See, that's why I didn't do it. But great album. Probably my favorite of the year so far. Not Travis's best album. I'd say it's probably his third best. Maybe his second best. I don't know. Rodeo is hard to beat. But let me know what you think down below. What are your top 11 songs on the album? What's your ranking of all the songs? Is this Travis's best album? Who knows? This is obviously probably recency bias because, again, it has... in 15 minutes at the time of recording, it will have been out for a full week. So it's still very fresh. But I just wanted to talk about that because, again, Travis is one of my favorite artists. This was my most hyped up album of this year, last year, the year before it, and the year before that. And it completely delivered. So thank you for watching this. I have been Andrew, and I'll see you in the next video.